Hi guys, I'm back today with a couple of pages in my December Not Quite Daily album. These pages are about Pixie Town, which is more creepy than cute. This is a historical display at our local museum, but my best friend and I head along every year because it is hilarious. I have no idea how these creepy little animatronic things were supposed to be fun for children. They are definitely inappropriate as far as we're concerned, but we do always go and have a good laugh. So I decided to put a couple of pages in my album. I've got a page that's got the 4 3x4 pockets on it, and I printed out a couple of 3x4 photos. I did take many more than that, and so I'm just going through my 3x4 card stash, picking out some that I might use on the other two spots here. One of them I did want to be sort of for journaling, and the other's going to be a title card, I guess. I just want to write out Pixie Town, but I was hoping to use these black alphas from Merry Days, and you'll see why I don't in a minute. I picked out this Favorite Things card from Ellie's studio to do my journaling on, and then when I picked out this Merry Days paper, I realized the pinks in this pad aren't really the same as on the journaling card, and I really did want to use the journaling card, so we ended up going back to the Ellie Studios card slash paper to pick out this red and pink stripe because the pinks then match. It's harder to tell here on video than it was in real life, but the Merry Days pink is definitely more on the warmer side, and the Ellie Studios one is a cooler toned pink. So I picked out this one, and then I went back through my stash to find some alphas. And I found these ones here, the white, and they've got pink glitter on them, and they seemed totally perfect. So I pulled them off, and I'm going to spell out Pixie Town. So I spent a little bit of time just shuffling these to get them right on the card. It did take me a little while to center them, and I got Pixie centered out all nicely, and then I go to write town, and yeah. There's no W's on this alpha sheet. I couldn't believe it. There's actually no V's either. It's the worst alpha I've ever seen. Not a great job there from the warehouse, but luckily I could turn an M upside down. It does look a bit weird because the drop shadow is on the wrong side, so it never looks exactly right, but it's close enough, and I did really like that alpha. I didn't want to pull them all off and find something else, so I decided to leave that, and I wondered about adding a wood veneer to it, but in the end I decided to keep it simple, and I'm just going to run that journaling card through my typewriter, which was slightly more complicated than I had hoped it would be. You can see there's a few mistakes on there, but I got it all down. It's definitely not in the lines that were intended, I guess. And I'm adding a couple of hearts. These are Feed Your Craft puffy sticker hearts, not in those same colours. I'm adding a couple of blue and a green one, so they tie the colours of my photos in a little bit more. So this page was super simple, and I really like how it turned out. And then I wanted to do something a little bit more extravagant on this left-hand page, which is just a piece of polka dot acetate. I'm not sure where I got that from. It was a little bit older. I ran out of time there and had to come back later, but you'll see I just die cut my photo. I had printed out a 4x6 photo, and I just die cut that with a scalloped circle. So that's going to go on the left. And on the front of this acetate, I'm going to make one of these embellished shaker circle things that I Am Absolutely Alice makes. I'm making a giant one. She makes tiny ones. I'm making a giant one so that it covers up my photo. Now I'm being stingy with this Merry Days paper, because I love it so much. So I made sure to cut out a 4x6 card of that first. Then I die cut that same scalloped circle. Say that 3 times fast. And I'm going to cut out a couple more circles that are slightly smaller than that to go on the inside. So I trimmed out the red fa la la paper, and I trimmed out a half circle of the holly, but I didn't like how it sat. There wasn't enough contrast, so I'm going to go back and do the same thing with this darker green pattern here. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim out a piece of tulle, and I'm using this gold glitter tulle, which is really pretty. Now I'm layering the full circle, the tulle, and then the half, and I'm going to stitch that with my sewing machine and fill it full of this gorgeous sequin mix from the Sequinologist. And you can see how this turned out. I also added a few little wood veneer pieces from the wood veneer confetti from Ellie's studio as well. It was a little bit fatter, so the shaker doesn't work quite as well, but I really love how it looks in there with the little Christmas trees. So I was pleased I did that in the end. Just trimmed off that excess tulle. I'm not sure if you're supposed to trim it into a circle or not first, but I find it easier just to stitch a larger piece and then trim it down afterwards. Now I'm going to stick these two pieces together, and because they're not going into a page protector of any sort, I decided to use some red line tape because I do actually want this to stay stuck. So I'm sticking the circle down on top of the scalloped circle. And of course, for it to be an embellished shaker, it needs a little bit of embellishment. So I'm going to stick this down before I do my embellishing so I can see where everything is. And again, I'm using a heavy-handed amount of this red line tape to make sure that it stays stuck. So I just put my other 3x4 page protector underneath there so that I can see where I'm putting it. I want to put it exactly in the middle there. So now I've done that, I can go ahead with the embellishing. I grabbed out these die cuts from the Merry Days collection, and one thing I do wish is that they would do some of these die cuts slightly smaller. They're all very large pieces, so when it comes to embellishing little things like this, it's a bit difficult. I had this chipboard sticker set from Echo Park, and I really loved that Santa, and I thought it would go well with the Santa photo on the other page, but he really is, again, quite large. I don't want him to, or any of my embellishments, to stick off the edge of my scalloped piece, because I am going to put the photo on the other side behind it, and I don't want any sort of white pieces sticking out. I grabbed out this magic wood veneer that's from LA Studios, and I realised that I've snapped it in half. It does join up not too badly, but I was a bit bummed that I had snapped that. You can see here I've zoomed in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. The chipboard pieces had basically zero stick on them. I'm not sure what's happened. They're definitely not old. They're a new collection, I think, and I haven't kept them in the sun or anything like that, so it was probably for the best that I add a little bit of extra glue anyway. So I'm just using some multi-matte medium to stick down the little chipboard tree and the two pieces of this magic wood veneer. So I'm just carefully sort of aligning them so they look like they're back in one piece again. And the chipboard tree had a little footer, a little stand on the bottom of it, and I'm not sure why it wasn't part of the actual chipboard piece, so I just glued that down separately. I went through my stash of tiny word stickers. I don't have any tiny word stickers that are December, Christmas related at all. So I went through my stash of stickers to try and find some that were vaguely related to this topic. So I've got Makes Me Happy, and these tealy coloured ones are from the December Citrus Twist kit, and it says "You crack me up," and we spend a good deal of time laughing at these pixies, so I figured these two worked well despite the fact that they weren't actually December related. And the last little bit of embellishing I'm going to do is just add some of these enamel dots. So I, want the shaker to be a little bit sort of over the top, well, over the top for me anyway. So I'm adding 3 little spots, so 3 lots of 2 of these little enamel dots. And that is my embellished shaker finished. So just to cover up the glue and on the back half there, this was my plan. I was going to put a photo on this side, so that's why I've cut out these 2 pieces as scalloped circles. And again, because this isn't going into a page protector, I'm using the red line tape and being quite heavy-handed with it indeed. Just matching up those little scalloped pieces. And then you can see the finished pages in my album here. So I love that polka dot transparency, and it sort of makes the floating circle just look that much more fun. Let me know down below how you're getting on with your December daily, if you're doing one. You know I love this project. It's my most favourite of the whole year, and this page was so fun, so I want to know that you're having fun too. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'll put a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys!